Episode 9, extra
Episode
credit.
9, Extra Credit Podcast.
We are in a different
Looks
place.
like we're in a set right now.
Yeah.
We are in a different place. Where are we at?
Santa Cruz, California.
We are in sunny, beautiful Santa Cruz, California. Why are we here?
I was about to ask that.
You were about to ask me why the heck we're here.
Yeah, Jason, why are we here?
Well, that story starts, like what, a little over a year ago?
So a year's like 12 months.
A year is indeed 12 months.
Probably like 15 months ago.
Because we got the idea, right?
Yeah, so probably, it was probably like 14, 15 months ago
Yeah.
when we first started.
Let's just say a year and a half ago, for
Sure.
argument's sake.
Argument's sake, a year and a half
If
ago.
we're going to be particular. All right, so story even starts before then, right? You are a mountain bike enthusiast, aficionado,
Yes.
obsessed, yada, 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 right?
Yes.
So somewhere along your obsession, we got the idea. I don't know if you and I were talking about it, your dad brought it up. It'd be cool to tour a mountain bike factory or just see a company's day-to-day work, right? And I think it was your dad told me to start reaching out to companies on LinkedIn.
Yeah, he just said, just do it.
And I thought it was the dumbest idea ever, if I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, no one's going to answer me.
Yeah.
I don't even have a LinkedIn profile. I have no followers, no connections, no nothing.
Yep.
And you just want me to reach out to people. I'm like, no, this is stupid. I didn't tell him that, but I think I probably told you.
Yeah.
And I just thought in my head it was dumb. So I think that he kept asking me for like probably a couple weeks, maybe a few months. And I was just like, no one's going to get back to me. And then, I don't know, something just clicked, right? Do you remember what it was?
Was it when we started doing trips? Maybe we're like, oh, this is kind of feasible.
Maybe. I don't know. Something happened.
remember, yeah.
And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. I think I just kind of did it out of spite.
Yeah.
Maybe to prove to your dad that no one's going to reach out to us.
I think that's kind of what it was, yeah.
So your dad made me write this sort of one-page summary of our school, right? Explaining who we are, what I do, whatever, our relationship. And I sent it out to like 30 to 50 people in all different bike companies, Specialized, Santa Cruz, Cannondale, even some like pedal companies. I don't know, some other stuff too, right? I remember I was looking back at all the messages on LinkedIn. I sent the wrong stuff to the wrong company. Like I reached out to like a Cannondale person and it was like, Dear Santa Cruz. Because I just messaged so many people that I forgot to change the document.
Respond to.
So to bring this story, I guess this stupid long story to a close, one of the guys I reached out to, I won't say his name, because I don't know if he wants to be on here. He answered, and he was like, give me more information. You guys sound really interesting. So I sent him more information, and he's like, yeah, you guys sound awesome. I'd love to see if we can help you out. Let's have a meeting. This was December 2021. I met with him a couple days before Christmas, actually, I remember. And we had a meeting over Skype, and it was really cool. He was like, your whole school, your whole vibe, everything about you guys seems really awesome. I really think what you're doing is unique and special. And obviously it's so great. Chatter from people outside. Obviously it's so great that you're giving Noah this opportunity and you guys do all this amazing stuff. He's like, I want to help out any way I can. So him and I went back and forth from December 2021 till basically like September of 2022, back and forth talking about potentially meeting. He travels all around the world, so he's like not always in Santa Cruz. He was like, yeah, I'm going to be here these 3 dates if you guys want to come. We pulled the trigger, and here we are. Then we're in Santa Cruz, and he gives us a tour of
the whole factory. And it's not the factory because they're not like technically making the bikes there, but it's their assembling.
It's their plant. They're like processing plant.
Yeah, it's a processing plant.
Obviously, they get it made in China or wherever.
They bring in the raw frames, then they assemble all the components on it and all that stuff.
He who shall not be named for privacy reasons led us into the factory, and he let us tour with the factory manager or whatever. Yeah. He took us to every single part of the factory from where they literally tape the bikes up to when they put the brakes together. I mean, everything. And then you actually got to do like a little bit of work.
Yeah, I got to wrap a frame and
yeah. And then after that, they just set us up with some demo bikes, and then we rode with a guide. My chain broke, so I didn't get to really ride, but you and the guide did all around the
e-bike.
UC Santa Cruz campus and some other trails.
And the Redwood, which was cool too.
I just posted up on a hill and talked on the phone while you were riding. So, yeah, basically that's why we're here, right? And I just reached out to him on LinkedIn in spite of, despite his dad or whatever, and it worked out really well. And yeah, we had an amazing time. And we really appreciate you, Santa Cruz, for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't really let anyone into their factory.
Yeah. Except for if you're like
a pro rider or whatever.
Or like maybe in the bike industry or that kind of thing.
We got like a very rare opportunity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, any other words on it?
I don't think so.
I mean, you could talk about whatever you want. I mean,
I think that's pretty much the whole story.
Yeah, so that's how we got here. That's how we're in Santa Cruz. Took a class field trip to tour this factory, and
we also used it as an opportunity to go to San Francisco too.
Sure, because we're in the area. San Francisco's
Haight-Ashbury.
Interesting little city.
Yeah, we went there.
Haight-Ashbury.
We did a lot of that in school.
Yeah, I mean...
Hey, we also went to Marin County, where I did a whole mountain bike project.
We did. So there were some school alignments. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But the main thing was the factory tour.
Here.
So talk about it. Give me your thoughts.
It was sick.
Yeah, elaborate.
It was cool to see... Because, like, obviously I work at a shop, so, like, people ask me all the time, like, why is that bike so much more than just, like, the average bike from China or whatever? And honestly, I never really knew. And I think I finally understand it, how much actually goes into it, and that it's actually, like, real humans doing it, and, like, yeah.
So you think...
The machines that go into it, like, how they build wheels there.
I mean, it was pretty crazy to see. I mean, I've never really thought about it, to be honest. I'm not...
I've seen videos there, so I wasn't as, like, shocked of all the stuff, but yeah. But seeing it in an actual person was cool.
I'm not saying that, yeah, cool, everyone go spend $8,000 or whatever on a bike. But on the flip side...
It made it seem a little bit more reasonable, I think.
I'm torn because, yeah, I get it, but also it's justifiable that bikes are expensive. But that's not the question here. The point is that that's a pretty interesting observation, right? You get to see all the little intricacies of, I mean, there's so many steps.
Yeah, that
go into it. So many parts, so much like fluidity amongst all the workers. I was thinking to myself, like, if someone calls out, it's kind of like, like it's such a flowing, like conveyor belt sort of like machine where like if one piece is not there, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, he was saying that 5 people just doing inventory, just literally just keeping track of inventory there.
Exactly.
Just crazy. And like, I don't know if you remember, they showed us a room where that was just like stuff that just came in, like wasn't even like technically received yet. And it was just like piles of frames and just
a room doesn't cut it. It's like a side of the warehouse.
It's like in Costco. It's literally the size of like a IKEA.
It felt like a Costco,
or like a Home Depot or something. Yeah, it's like a Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this to me is a room.
Yeah.
It was like 10 times this of just stuff they have to process.
10 times? Yeah, it was a lot.
Room.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's huge. Yeah, so it was cool to see like what everything really goes into it. And I think relating that to a bigger picture, like think about anything that we buy, whether it's like a bike, an iPhone, a freaking book bag or something. You don't really like grasp how much goes into creating something. Like, sure, you can see a video, but when you see like, we got to see it from start, okay, it's just a bare frame, and then one guy adds a piece, and the next guy adds a piece, and the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, and then you got the guy who puts it in the box, then you got the guy who takes the box on the pallet, then we saw the UPS driver waiting there. Like, we really got to see it essentially from start to finish. And
from when it comes in from China to...
There are so many moving parts, and there's so much going on. We were in about 100 people's way, just standing there, and it added perspective. I mean, it was just cool to see that, just you just take any object laying around, and
Yeah, I just wanted to pick up one of those frames and just take it off.
of course, I mean, it would have been cool. Yeah, man. So it was cool just to see how something operates, because we take it for granted.
Yeah.
Anything or laying around the house, or we don't think twice about it. But there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, definitely.
And
especially something that I guess I'm interested in, and you have some interest in too. Fascinates you.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean,
that we really both got to see.
Yeah, we both just got to see, aside from just a bike, just sort of how like a business operates,
Yeah.
We got to learn about just a lot. It's hard to describe because it's just such a huge operation. I mean, it's crazy to think. Like you think, I'm just going to start a business, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that business has been scaled to billions of dollars, right? Yeah. But still, I would have never thought you needed a guy just to tape a bicycle. You know what I mean? It doesn't cross my mind. So it was cool to see that. And everyone just working together. The community there was really awesome. Everyone just listening to music and no dress code. It was awesome.
They're all just chilling. They all get lunch over at the food truck next door or go get tacos. Or...
They ride trails on their break.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like the ideal spot to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool. They all take lunch together. This factory just kind of shuts down for like an hour, and then they all go back.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably a little boring. Like, it seems cool to us because we're not in there doing it. And we can be like, that looks so cool. I'm sure if we ask one of the workers, they're like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
I'm sick of wrapping bikes for 7 hours a day.
7-8 hours a day. But on the flip side, you get to wear what you want. You can play music from your phone.
Yeah.
You're working with like-minded people. You're not sitting in a stifling office.
Yeah.
9 to 5 BS, wearing a dumb little tie.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's cool in that regard.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And again, I mean, I don't know what it's like behind closed doors. We got like the nicest view of it. Yeah. But again, I just imagine it's a pretty chill spot to work.
I agree with that.
So, any other thoughts?
No, I think we said pretty good.
I mean, like as a mountain bike fan, right?
Yeah.
Not just a fan. Like you're obsessed. It's like everything. Describe what that's like to have been given that opportunity. I mean, almost nobody gets that opportunity.
I think it was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
I imagine.
I know. Hold on.
Think about it for a second.
Relax. Jason's been on one recently.
Yeah.
I just think gave me a whole different perspective on
what?
My previous knowledge and how I look at it.
What did it add to your previous knowledge?
Just, how do I say it? It gave it like more depth.
Okay. In what way?
Like
we're also wearing the same hat.
I know.
Backwards. It's funny.
There's a lot of distractions out there.
Just don't look.
What was I saying?
You're saying it gave you depth to the knowledge.
It gave me more perspective on things that I knew, like what went into a bike. I just always thought like bearings, pressing and bearings and stuff like that was just like machine done or already came like that. But like they had a hand press. There was this guy just picking out the right things.
He was cool.
Yeah. It was that kind of thing. And it was all just, So I don't know if I said that the best way, but
there's no right or wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
I know.
See what it was like from your perspective,
Yeah.
So it gave you depth. You kind of really understand now all the moving parts on
that went into it, yeah.
That went into it.
Because as a person that like just basically takes the bike out of the box, takes the frame out of the box, puts in the suspension, puts on the brakes, the gears, all that stuff. That's like, I guess, the easy part, I guess. And everything else that went into it, like all the little spacers and bearings and like the crazy stuff, yeah.
Like if you're ever sitting there, like, I don't feel like putting this together, it's a lot of work. Just imagine like each thing you just said, like the suspension, whole section of the
they had it so dialed too.
For that.
Like for me, if I'm like, I don't have the luxury of just they like have it one station. They have all the tools, like because like it's a socket set, so you can take them off. But they had like a whole socket for each one, just because they can just reach and grab it. I remember she saw the grip on them and stuff like that. He was saying it's like so they can grip it, really do it fast, and it's just like yeah. I just found that fascinating.
Yeah. So it's added depth and perspective to your knowledge.
My previous knowledge.
And how do you think it's helped? How do you think it's going to help you now in the future?
I think I'm going to be able to explain it a lot more why a bike like that is
so if I come
valuable.
POV, I come in to buy a bike, and I'm like, why is this Santa Cruz whatever $5,000, $6,000, $7,000? Why?
It's a good quality frame, I'm going to say, and there's just a lot that goes into it that you wouldn't normally think about.
Why should I care about that as a consumer?
Because it's quality and it's reliable. It's going to last you a long time.
Okay.
And also, I think it's going to be put together correctly. From what I saw, like, they don't even have to think about it. They just do it. And I think, like, building bikes from other companies, too, they come in, like, complete disarray. It was just built in a random Chinese factory that just...
Shots fired.
Mediocre. So it's not the quality of the frame or anything. It's just the build quality on it.
So you think Santa Cruz truly puts in that
extra time,
tender love and care, that TLC
that's
into it?
Not necessarily needed, but it puts them over the top.
So you think that's why they're like the premier bike brand, or at least one of? So. Because, I mean, I don't know how the other bike brands do it, but if you're saying it's all assembled in a overseas factory,
most of them are. Not all, but
I think this is going to get spiritual for a moment. Everyone there, for the most part, is like a mountain bike rider.
Yeah, so everybody rides there.
So
also, everybody like rides to work, or like at least half the people there.
I feel like, and I'm making a huge assumption here, but I think I can do it. People are there not just because they need a job, but because they actually somewhat enjoy working in that factory. Like there are many factories in that area. You could find a job at a factory doing putting together like, I don't know, TVs or something,
the guy I went on a ride with, he was saying that like he chose there.
Yeah, a lot of the people
because he's into biking and
a couple people we talked to were like, they moved to that area hoping to get a job at the factory.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's something about when people actually care about the work that they're doing, the quality clearly shows. Like there's some sort of like spiritual exchange of energy.
Yeah.
Where like the guy is not just going to do a half-assed job and be like, well, I don't care. Like some idiot's going to buy this.
They actually care.
Because I saw the dude taping the bike. Like he taped one and he took everything off because it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I know like in my previous jobs that I didn't care about, I was just like, it's just one bike.
Yeah.
But he's like, Santa Cruz has instilled it into them and he actually believes in it. Where he's like, no, like we have a higher quality, a higher standard.
And I care about what I'm actually doing.
Sure. And I saw a bunch of other people doing it too. They were like restarting. Like one guy was screwing something in and he undid the whole thing and redid it.
Yeah.
Because whatever, it probably wasn't done the proper way.
Or it would have worked, but not like the...
I kind of like that everyone there is like a similar vision.
Yeah.
Where it's not just...
They're doing it to work.
Like when I worked at Starbucks, not the best comparison, but they have their quality standards and their procedure where they're like, we want everything to be quality. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care about this company. I don't care about the people buying it.
The people actually there care, and
that
goes for a lot.
The coffees I made obviously were not as good as if I genuinely cared, and I think the same goes for those bikes. And you who has dealt with like multiple bike companies now and like bike brands, can you actually see a difference?
Yeah.
Are you biased a little bit because you went to this factory, or do you actually notice?
Can I see a difference in what? The actual build quality of the bikes or the bike?
You said some of them you come in the boxes and it's like you could tell it seems crappier.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. And you can tell with this brand it's actually thought out, and it's just I can definitely tell.
That's amazing. That's why I think that's the coolest takeaway for me is that everyone there's got a similar vision.
Yeah.
And to see people like actually care about a job in the 21st century is rare.
Yeah.
Most people are there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
And again, I can't generalize.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have their moments and their days, and there are employees there who don't care as much.
Yeah.
But it genuinely seemed like everyone there cared about upholding the quality.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I mean, that's really rare to see.
No, definitely.
And that alone would justify spending a little bit more money on the bike.
I do think so.
Because you're like, all right, if you understand how everyone put it together and the care that they put in and the love they had for it, you know you're going to get something that was well put together.
I think if you have the money, it's definitely worth it. If you don't, go with something cheaper. But
just know that when you pay for cheaper, you're going to get cheaper. You're going to get cheaper.
Yeah, if you have the money, definitely go with something.
I mean, I think when it comes to mountain biking
like
and you're hitting trails and your bike's taking wear and tear.
Oh, no, definitely.
It makes sense to have something quality.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I think the moral here, though, to bring it back to like a lesson, because I feel like there's always a lesson, it's ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
Meaning...
You just reached out to them and...
What was the worst he was going to say? It was no?
No, yeah.
Nobody told me no.
I said that to you yesterday.
He was the only one who responded, and it was a yes, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really even ask for anything when I reached out to him. I was just like, we'd love to learn more about you guys or just speak to somebody from the company.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for a tour. I didn't ask to come to California.
Yeah.
I never knew that this was even going to happen, right? But the point is like, out of the 49 or 59 other people that didn't answer me, nobody reached out and said no. They just never even opened the message, and that's fine, right? And even if
the one person that opened the message followed through with it,
exactly. And look what happened. We got this amazing experience.
Yeah.
So the moral is, like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Literally,
definitely.
It's so cliche, right? And it's such, like, we all hear it. It's like a Nike T-shirt at this point, but it's couldn't be truer though.
Yeah.
Because imagine I kept up the same mentality where I was like, no one's even going to respond to us. There's no point in reaching out. Nothing would have happened, right? So, and again, nobody was like, how dare you reach out to me, you freaking idiot, go die in a hole, right? No one said that. So we really got a positive out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing.
I agree.
So that would be my moral, is just ask. Just do it. The worst that happens is, and even if someone reached out and was like, I hope you die, you idiot, you're a loser, how dare you reach out to me, who cares? Because at the end of the day...
You reached out. You did it.
I tried, and that's all that matters, and someone still said yes, right? Because if all those other people told me to go, rot in a hole, but we still got the one yes, that's all that matters, right? The rest don't matter at all. And now we've created a friendship, and you know what I mean? We have something here, which is awesome. So ask. The worst that someone says is go die in a hole. Yeah. And that's fine. Right?
And then if everybody says that, just go die in a hole.
Maybe not. You just keep trying.
Don't take my advice, actually.
You just keep trying, because someone is bound to say yes, right?
Eventually you'll get a yes.
Because he did say yes.
Yeah.
And I think he was probably like, if I reached out to 60 people, he was probably like on page 8 on LinkedIn. Because, I Googled like Santa Cruz, and then I scrolled through page, because not all the people you can message. Some people have to have it turned on, and he was on. And again, after like page 4, I was like, oh, I'm tired of messaging people. I don't want to do it. But I'm like, no, let's just keep going. I've went this far, and I went as far as I could, and he was toward the end. And then I was like, all right, I'll just message him. And I remember, like, I wasn't going to do it, because I'm like, this dude, he's higher up. There's no way he's going to message me back. Yeah. And again, I'm glad I did it, because if I didn't do it, it would have been 100% no. Yeah. Right? At least if you try, there's going to be a slight chance someone says yes.
Definitely.
Right? So that would be the moral. Just ask. And you never know what happens. So, any other thoughts?
Oh, good.
Big yawn. Are we good? Is this podcast adjourned?
Huh?
Adjourned. It's a court term for like over. Like court adjourned. Done. We good? Are we done?
Sure.
All right, cool. Bye.
I know you're keeping that in.
That.